Dhawal Selarka!
Let's give it up for Mike one more time. I really respect what Mike does, really what all MCs do, because I don't think I'd be good at it. No, I'm a comedian who doesn't do a lot of crowd work, because I think part of the problem is I don't think I'm very good at small talk. You know, like, for example, I think I followed you guys in here. Not like I mean, we were going to the same, anyways, hi. How are you guys doing? Okay. How was your weekend? Now you ask me about my weekend. Anyways, this is how 99% of my small talk conversations go. So I've stopped doing small talk. Now I only engage in big talk. And let me show you what that looks like. How's it going? Good. Thank you. How was your weekend? It was good. It was going really well. But then I was listening to some music, and Tiny Dancer by Elton John comes on. And I realized that, that came out when he was only 25, right? And by then he was one of the biggest rock stars in the world. And when I was a kid, I had so many dreams and so many things I wanted to achieve. And now I'm in my 30s and I've done none of it. I've achieved nothing that I've wanted to. And the few dreams that I do have, I can feel them slipping away, And soon they'll be gone, and then I'll have nothing, and then I'll be hollow, and then I'll be dead. Do you ever feel like that sometimes? Now, I know what you're probably thinking. Why? Right? Big talk, more awkward, more uncomfortable, yes, but it will save you hours of small talk. Because if you do big talk once, I guarantee you nobody will ever fucking talk to you again. I'm not originally from Ottawa, I'm from Toronto. If you ever want a cool trick to know whether someone's from Toronto or not, we'll just tell you. But when I first moved to Ottawa, I really wanted to lay my roots down here. I really wanted to become an Ottawan. So but Ottawa's one of those weird towns where nobody seems to love Ottawa. Like, I started asking a bunch of colleagues, a bunch of friends that we knew here, that grew up here, that moved here, what their favorite thing about Ottawa was. And after asking maybe 2 dozen people, I've realized the best thing about Ottawa is actually Montreal. So. I'm obviously a person of color as well. People of color, we all have different experiences based on our heritage, where we're from. I'm Indian, someone with a Chinese background would have different experiences. But one experience that all people of color share is that when you're the only person of color in the room, you become the black person. Like, I can't tell you the number of times where I've been the only person of color in the room, and someone will come up to me and be like, God, I miss Obama. They'll start apologizing for shit other white people do. Like, someone came up to me once and was like, I'm so sorry about Trudeau putting on blackface. Like, they were the ones who called him the night before and were like, it'd be funny. And, I was actually mad. I was mad about blackface. I wasn't mad that he did a blackface. I was mad that, after that Aladdin photo came out, I texted it to my mom, and she texted back to me within a minute, look, he's trying to be Indian more than you. Where most people saw a racist face paint, she saw effort. I'm married as well. My wife, I've been with my wife for almost 6-7 years now. It's okay, it's fine. Before I was with my wife, I was in a long-term relationship with another woman, and my ex, she was really insecure. She always thought she wasn't enough for me. And I always found that really silly. But, I remember reading at the time that instead of dismissing your partner's concerns, you should acknowledge and validate them. So I cheated on her. I know. Really, it was a win-win situation. Her feelings were validated, and I met my wife's. She actually loves that joke. We don't get to talk a lot about how we met, so. We also have a daughter as well. She's biracial. My wife is white. as I previously mentioned, am not. And what a lot of people don't realize is that when you mix two races, two ethnicities, the mix is not always 50-50. You know what I mean? Oftentimes one side is more expressed than the other. In the case of our daughter, she came out just white. Like, it's like my Indian DNA saw my wife's white European DNA. It's like, ain't doing this shit again. I mean, she's so white that all of the feminism she needs to succeed happened in the 1970s. You know, I mean, she's so white, her first words were all lives matter. That does get balls occasionally, and I want you to know those are just as good as laughs. I don't discriminate. My daughter, though, we'll see. We can only hope. I think the other thing I noticed too is that, you know, once you become a parent, you start to notice, you become more aware of creeps, right? Maybe it's just because I had a daughter or what it is. But, you know, there was someone in our neighborhood, they were arrested for sexually assaulting a 15-year-old, and I was telling this to a friend of mine, someone who I hadn't seen since before the pandemic, before I had a kid. And I was telling them there was essentially a pedophile in our neighborhood, and they stopped me, and they said, technically, they're not a pedophile, they're an ephebophile, because they're attracted to children who are post-puberty, who have developed their secondary sexual characteristics. This is in contrast to pedophiles, who are attracted to children who are prepubescent. And in the middle are hebephiles, who are attracted to children undergoing puberty. And as he's talking, I realized almost immediately, I want him nowhere near my child. Because I don't know, it feels like a bad parenting move to put your child in the presence of someone who, for no professional reason, is extremely well versed on the levels of child fucking. Like, when this guy's telling you about people he knows on the spectrum, you know he's not talking about autism. Alright, that's my time. Thanks so much.
Dhawal Selarka, everybody give it up for him.